going up to see Jenny and surprise her with her $5,000 prize. Jenny, congratulations. You're a Bunnings home ground hero.
Pretty honoured and humbled to be a Bunnings home ground hero.
It's overwhelming actually, it's humbling. It's a nice reminder about why I do this.
But yeah, just the whole sense of gratitude, man, and thankful to Bunnings and TNZ.
Sport. What does it mean to us? For some, it's potential, a promise that we could be better, that the early mornings will be worth it, that we could be champions.
It starts with touch.
This Touch New Zealand event is proudly supported by Bunnings Warehouse.
Kia ora koutou, te whānau, and welcome to the 2023 Bunnings Youth Touch Championships, broadcasting from the Punawai in Christchurch, live on Whakaata Māori, and you're joining us for the Under-18 Girls Division, and we have the Battle of the South. We have the red and black of Canterbury against the blue and gold of Otago, and I'm Michael Kavanagh, and I'm joined in the commentary box here with Maya Williams and Corey Tofari. It's been our privilege to bring you the live action today as we see the both teams' names on your screen at the moment. And just while we have the opportunity, just want to give a big shout out to our key sponsors of the tournament. We have Bunnings Warehouse, a proud principal partner of Touch New Zealand. We have the Christchurch City Council. We have SAS Sport, the official apparel partner of Touch New Zealand. We have Silver Fern, the official bull of Touch New Zealand, and Bartercard proudly backing our referee sector, as well as Trillian Trust. And just a massive participation over our first day here of competition. We have 19 provinces participating within 69 teams. We have a total number of 1,104 players that are here, as well as a collective of 100 plus referees and 100 plus volunteers as well. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes to be able to make this possible for the kids that are being able to perform here today. And Corey, you've been with us for the whole day. How have you enjoyed today so far?
Mate, loved it, especially that last game. That 18's great. It's just a little bit quicker and a little bit more smoother, and I'm really looking forward to this matchup between Canterbury and Otago.
We saw a really high pace under 16 girls game earlier between the Hawke's Bay and Southland, and we were really impressed from their abilities, Maya. So what are we looking forward to in this 18s division?
Yeah, look, if this under 18 game can be good, the under 16s one was earlier with the girls. I was super impressed with the two teams, and in particular the Hawke's Bay. It was end to end. There were some real athletic things that were happening down on the scoreline, so I was super impressed. And if this is anything like that, then what a way to finish the day.
And just being able to recognise a name here on the team sheet for the under-18 Canterbury girls team, it's their coach, Ben Seebeck, and I know how tough he can be when you're playing with him in terms of what he wants from you as a player. So I'm expecting this Canterbury team to be pretty well drilled, and I'm sure Benny will be keeping them honest in the sub box. I'm sure you can agree, Corey.
Yeah, I think this might be the only team that we've watched all day that won't be allowed to go to the sub box every set. If I know Benny well, he'll want the girls to stay strong. And they've got some real strong players in there. Got young Sally, had a bit to do with her over the last sort of year or so. And Alabassi, she's real strong. Manisha, that's Benny's daughter. Miller Downing, Taylor Heath, and Sienna Stout-Smith. See, they brought her into the mix.
And on the flip side from Otago, there would have been some great battles over the course of the last few years. I know that these two teams have been very strong in the 18 girls division, especially from the Otago standpoint. I think they've been there or thereabouts over the last few years, and so is Canterbury. So we're in for an interesting treat to end our day here down at Punawai in Christchurch.
Mate, Otago, we were talking about it last year. Otago's got such a good system down there for their youth, as we see. Who was that? Asher. I think she dived in for a wee shot there. But yeah, just going back to that, Otago's got such a good system. I've been talking to Naomi, the coach, out here today. They have about 16 open players throughout their men's, women's and mixed teams that actually come back and lend a hand for coaching for their youth. So when you've got people doing that for your province, that's going to breed amazing talent. Look at this move.
I think over the course of the whole tournament, it's been really pleasing to see just getting the luxury of obviously having some team sheets and seeing who's actually involved with some of these groups, and the amount of either ex or current players or officials that are lending a hand and like putting up their time or volunteering their time to be able to give back their experiences and what they've learnt over the course of them playing the game to hopefully allow these kids to achieve a great deal more than potentially what they did.
Has that been picked up?
Yep. It was picked up by the sideline referee.
Yeah, good stuff. How good was that defence though? Touch 1, 2, 3. Otago, it was some sort of system they've got. It was almost like a wave defence, but it was almost like 2 at a time, as opposed to the old wave. It was almost like odds and evens.
She knew she had done it straight away, putting the hand up to the mouth, saying "oops" or something along those lines. Here we have Otago.
Alabasi, I think that was caught red-handed on that one. Is it going to be a slide dive in here? That's a Dana special, isn't it?
Beautiful.
That's come straight out of Dana's playbook. Quickie release, short follow.
Yeah, and as we look to the Bunnings warehouse replay, you can just see that as soon as she catches the ball, rather than looking at where the space is, she looks at where that defender's coming from, identifies that she's collapsing in, and then just a nice little pass off, and Otago are able to open the scoring, 1 touchdown to 0.
Corey, you talked just before the game started around these two teams having played, was it, each other?
Yeah, so I saw these two teams play just pre-Christmas at the Te Waiponamu tournament down at Burnside Park. They went through the rounds. I think Otago got on top of Canterbury through the rounds, and then they went into the final and went down to a drop-off, down to 3 players. But a quick shout-out for the player that set the final try up to win for Canterbury. I've got to play through here. Quick shout out anyway to the girl that actually set the try up to finish that match off, Kariri Atua. She's headed off to the United States. She's picked up a scholarship for basketball. And I know her mum and dad, Fred and Ange, really well, and they'll be real proud of her as she's flowing over there, just as much as we are as proud as her too. So go well, Kariri Atua. Do us proud, mate.
As we see the reward of just some good pressing defence from Otago, just the time that they're limiting Canterbury to make a decision as they're kind of either crossing the half or getting into their strike zone. They're really nullifying the time that they have on the ball to be able to make a good decision. So great reward for some good press defence there from the Otago crew as Canterbury are able to find a bit of space down the sideline. And there we see the Benny special. The arms are out, demanding something happened there in the ruck. It was just out of picture, but we see Canterbury hot on attack here, entering the 7, splitting away to the short side.
Is that Sienna Stowers? Sienna Stowers out of half. She's quick, this girl. She's got some speed. Well done. Yeah, Sienna Stowers. I didn't actually realise she was in the team. Maybe she's been brought in as a late call replacement for Kariri Atua, but she's a real superstar, this kid. Absolute superstar in the netball, basketball. And now, obviously, she's lending her hand to the girls in the touch footy.
The proof's in the pudding, and if you get your transition right off your own defensive scoreline and you carry that momentum all the way through, then it tends to make it a lot easier to score tries on the end of it.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw this one out there. I think I'm about 95% correct that her brother, Kynan Stowers, signed up the Warriors. And I think he's about to run out in the one of the reserves grades. So, yeah, real family affair down there, the Stowers.
I thought the name looked familiar, and that potentially was the brother of the sister of the brother that you coached to me.
No.
Or maybe it was Lee then. Maybe it was Lee, or maybe it was in part of the mix.
I think he's a part of the 18s.
Can't have been Lee. If it was Lee, then he would know. Well, which Lee are we talking about first?
Yeah, Momo.
If it was Lee Timomo, then his career would have been finished there.
Here we go. 1-all draw. It's going to be a tip-top battle, this one. Otago, I'm real impressed with their defence. Watch this defence as Canterbury's trying to come off the line. It's a bit of a wave set up, and then I think they'll send the next two. Put a lot of pressure on. Canterbury's forcing the pass. Working towards the sub-box now.
They've got really good patience as well. Like, they're kind of lifting and then they're waiting until a decision's made in terms of the direction Canterbury's going, and then they're able to release out, and they're forcing that kind of lob lifted pass over the top, and Canterbury are only just managing to latch onto it. But
that's a good defensive system that Naomi's got going there. Like you said, they're lifting into that space, holding, not panicking, trying to almost entice Canterbury into throwing it wide. Canterbury's having a go on it, so we'll see who pays off. Got a strike opportunity here for Otago as they go through the middle here. Can't quite see those numbers, sorry boys. Oh, here we go.
Number 10 here for Otago.
Abigail for a sweep. Some dive in here.
Probably just a little bit of tunnel vision there from Abigail. Ended up almost being a 3-on-2.
She almost dived too late, didn't she? If you see where she lands here, she's about 1.5 meters over the line. So if she had dived, not quite, but if she had dived a little bit early and stretched out the arms, she might have got that one.
Otago.
No dummy half here. This is Otago's put some more pressure on them.
Really good job at disrupting their transition.
Defense is great from Otago. Midfield defense, they're really winning that battle. But here we go. Sienna.
I think that's something that Benny will probably want to address towards the back end of this half, or maybe at half time, is that a lot of lateral movement here from the Canterbury girls, and Otago seem to be winning that direct battle, and they're kind of getting more of an advantage on their meters than Canterbury are, and they're getting down to the 7 relatively easy in comparison to the red and black.
Yeah, they are. They need that platform. Ali set a platform there for Sienna to come out of half, but it just wasn't quite strong enough. It was Taylor Heath making the touch. Release for a pass. Great defence from Taylor Heath there. That's the daughter of Nigel Heath and Summer Takahu. Summer Takahu, sporting legend from Canterbury, touch football and rugby league representative for New Zealand.
Yeah, great people at the same time as well.
And just good people.
As we see, this is a bit better from Canterbury, running with a bit more direction as they're looking for that one over the top, trying to find space.
That's a great run on. Yeah, it's great yards from Sienna. She's playing real well here. As we've got Georgia Sims sweeping on. Here's Ella Bus with the same. This Manisha's Benny's girl out of half, flicking off. Who's out wide? Quite good attacking raid though.
Yeah, good defensive press there from Otago. They all went as one, and then when it was that opportunity to be able to get that catch and pass, because of the lift that the link produced there, they were able to shut that pass down. As we see Otago across the half, and only a couple of touches, so they're going to give themselves about 2 or 3 at the scoreline here, as they look to control the middle. Touch 4. We got one more left here, making a good dump on the 7. Going back to the short side, good step back. What's the referee going to give here?
Ball down, I feel. He's getting a penalty. I think Manisha's been called offside, but Ella's been called onside, so it's just a penalty. Reset. Ella's made the touch, pulling a short side corner. Nice and tight here. Great defence from Manisha, but I think she's missed her.
Number 3 from Canterbury was definitely short. Never got onside. Great call by the referee there. And an easy try. A smart play from the attacker too, just to understand that the 3 never got back. The 3 from Canterbury, inside, back outside. Eventually got back, but not prior to the touch being made. And super happy with the decision from the referee.
Manisha was in a great position there too. So that Otago, she's really picked that up quite well and dived into the outside shoulder, I guess, of the retreating defender.
So Maya, just to give some understanding for those at home that may not be aware, so we saw in the play before that a try opportunity was created, but they ended up going for the penalty. What is the difference between the play-through opportunity to when the penalty is given in that instance?
So often, you always get questioned by that from the players, why wasn't it a play on and try? And it's when one player is offside and disadvantage the attacking team, but the other player touches them as well. So you're going back for the penalty for the offside player. You're not giving the try because there was an onside player that made the touch. So that's why it happens. If there's no onside players, then that would have been a play-through try, as you've seen in that last one.
Got a play on here. We've got a late pass. Sally's done really well there. Sally's run a wee 32 peel, and Ellie's come around the back, but I feel like the Otago girl might have just did a light touch on her. She's got called up for a touch pass penalty as Otago work their way to the sub box again. This is touch 3 coming up, I feel.
Both teams are pretty even, I'd say, in terms of their attack down on the scoreline. The difference for me has been that defence through that orange zone there, Kev, particularly by the Otago girls against the Canterbury crew. That's really been the defence. I think the Otago crew have had a lot more cracks at Canterbury's scoreline than vice versa, and as a result we've got them up 2-1.
You feel like I feel like Otago's defence on, Canterbury's trying to come off their line. Here we go again. It's Canterbury's trying to come off the line. Otago are like, it's almost like it's just a wave set up but not structured, where whoever's in front of the ball's flying, whereas Canterbury on the other hand will send 3 players out straight away. They might win touch 1, but they're certainly losing touch. Here we go, try in the corner here.
If it's not forward, it's a beautiful try. I know we're at the under-16s, under-18s, Kev, but normally the youngest participants at this tournament are the referees, and we see one of them there. As Otago set up, fake the back door, comes short side.
A lovely left to right long ball.
Beautiful catch and got that ball to ground as quick as they could.
Lovely finish too. Yeah, just going back to that, I feel like Canterbury, they may be winning touch 1, but they're probably sacrificing 2 and 3, and that's where Otago's getting through the midfield a bit better. Just tidy that area up, and I think it'll bode them well.
I think we can make evidence that the momentum of the transitional situation that Otago are winning is just a little bit better than Canterbury. Canterbury seem to be a little bit stop-start with getting their players out of the box, and it's really reflective going into touch 4 and 5, whereas Otago seem to be going with a little bit more momentum, and even in the back end we've seen a couple of offside penalties come from the directness that they're running at, but we can see there that Canterbury are trying to shut down them getting to their box, and that's something that they're going to have to do to really halt the momentum of this Otago under-18 girls side.
That just could be the old school mentality as well. Otago have definitely got a plan to go to the sub box, but I know Benny well, and I know you won't like a sub box pattern, but maybe it's just part of the game now. Whereas, like I say, I know Benny would just want to go direct, stay a bit stronger, stay a bit harder. So we'll see how that pans out for them.
It's a good change up here from Otago. They've been feeding the live player for the first kind of half of the game, and now that they've kind of realised that Canterbury have switched on to that, they can kind of see a little bit of a lateral shift, and they're actually creating some space out wide and throwing those longs and really putting pressure on the Canterbury wingers to have to make a good decision. As we just see some more good pressing defence here from the Otago group, but lovely drawing pass there to the Canterbury winger, who makes some good yardage down the sideline with only 20 seconds remaining. They'll be wanting to get another one here to only make a deficit of 1 leading into the half, but they need to make sure that they keep going forward. They can't be going lateral and not getting to their strike on 5. As we see a nice little inside pass, looking for a gap through the middle, but Otago closed that space, and it's looking like they're going to take a 3-1 lead going into the half. And there we have the hooter. Otago look to just close it out with a nice simple yard, and we see the referee catch the ball there as Otago take the lead here in the 18 girls grade, 3 touchdowns to 1 leading into halftime.
We're going up to see Jenny and surprise her with her $5,000 prize. Jenny, congratulations. You're a Bunnings home ground hero.
Pretty honoured and humbled to be a Bunnings home ground hero.
It's overwhelming actually, it's humbling. It's a nice reminder about why I do this.
But yeah, just the whole sense of gratitude, man, and thankful to Bunnings and TNZ.
Sport. What does it mean to us? For some, it's potential, a promise that we could be better, that the early mornings will be worth it, that we could be champions.
It starts with touch.
Kia ora koutou e te whānau and welcome back to the Youth National Touch Championship coming out of Napunawai here in Christchurch. Broadcast to you live on Whakaata Māori. We have the 18 Girls division here in a competition between the Canterbury 18 Girls against the Otago 18 Girls, and it's lived up to every expectation as we look at some of the highlights coming up here from the first half. And it was pretty evenly matched to begin with as we saw Otago open up the scoring with a nice just 33 split follow. I think Corey said it was a Dana special there, so taking recognition out of one of their international superstars before Canterbury struck back with a lovely scoop into the in goal and then finding the open player out wide before Otago really asserted some dominance through a lot of defensive press and then making sure that they took some opportunities when they got down into their scoreline, as we saw a nice little shimmy there, and then to finish off with a nice left to right pass and a lovely finish in the corner by the Otago winger, as we see some running repairs just happening on the sideline there for one of the Otago players.
I think the difference in this one, Kaz, is just that transition area. We had a quick chat about it then, and Canterbury can fix that up, they'll stay with it, but I feel like if Otago get a roll on here, they could just blow this out. So it'll be an interesting start to this. I think this next couple of minutes is going to be real important for Canterbury.
Corey, you made a comment during the halftime break around not noticing the refs, and that's so true. And as you would know, both of you as a player, if you don't notice the refs, it means they're reffing well. So hopefully I haven't put the commentator's curse on them, but great first half by the refs.
How good's this young bloke going out in the middle of the field? He's been real strong, eh?
Just his confidence, just
so
assertive. Real hard work, high work rate, so yeah, great effort.
It's a sign of a great ref, eh? When we sat here and watched this game, and I walked out here and I thought, I actually forgot there was refs out there, and that's control to me. There's Manisha here working across Alabasi. Keep moving. Benny's looking for some more movement here. Who releases out of half. Weak late cut. A lot of movement and great honesty from number 10 from Otago here.
Unfortunately, we've got a couple of sevens here for Otago, and we don't have a number 10. So our apologies if we do miss her name out through this stream. But a lovely late cut there, and a great body movement. I never saw her dad do anything like that, but a lovely finish there by Manisha Seebeck.
A great dive. I've just had that all day. Eh? It's amazing. I love watching it. My body would break down. I need a bloody walking stick to get back up.
I think the compliment that we've given to this referee group through this game, it's actually been reflective through the whole day. Like, I don't think through one game we've seen a referee unit kind of like control the game. They've allowed each team to really to express themselves, and it's been really reflective in the touch you've been able to see at home. It's been quite open and free flowing, and a lot of the games, we've been at around 10 touchdowns within every game. So it's giving these youth every opportunity to really express themselves, not only through the field but on the scoreline as well. So top effort to the referee group that's been in control of these stream games today.
Canterbury bring it away, and it'll be real interesting to see what Ben said at half-time. Obviously, the three of us sort of identified that it was probably an area for them to improve on in terms of their transition, and as I say that, unfortunately, just a bit of inaccuracy there, and Otago with a great opportunity. But once again, Otago, just their effort in this area, they've just obviously identified it as a key area where they can swing the game in their favour.
They're winning this game on winning touch 1, 2 and 3. I guess what Otago needs to tidy up is narrow as their attack. They've got a couple of sweeps from the link. Let's just see what they've got here as they set up. We've got two middles working together. Just dropping a link under. Be a long ball for follow. Decided just to have a gun on it. You won't get outside centre Stowers. She's a bit quick for that.
Yeah, I think the reward here for the Otago group is lovely hands there on the wing. She did really well to pick that up off the bootlaces. But I think the reward here is that they're almost using their second effort at the back end of their attack of making sure that they're working hard through touch 1, 2 and 3. And I think if I was Canterbury, like, they're trying to make their way towards that sub-box but kind of going a bit lateral. Like, potentially an option would be just to ruck the middle, like they're looking to throw that wave pressing defence, and And maybe the way to nullify it is just to ruck a few towards the middle and kind of like unstabilise this Otago defensive line, and then potentially off the back end, Canterbury might have a better strike attack. But
even an away set or something, like Otago's just getting used to what they're doing. So even if it's a bit of an away set or something, got good speed out there with Sally and Sienna. They use them to go away set. Just change it up a little bit. I think might give them a few rewards. But hey, we're pretty close here. 3-2. 11 minutes to go. At a half. Still running. Great defence. That's great defence from Ella Bussey. The hearty dive that is.
Yeah, diving full stretch as she made it towards the line and making the touch just before the Otago player was able to release the ball, and the referee identified that as a touch and pass.
This is better from Canterbury. That one could have been down a bit quicker. They keep the momentum into this. This could be... Can't see what's happening out there. We've got a penalty. So that's a much better set from Canterbury.
Obviously, with the Canterbury box right outside our tent, I was hearing the coach just as they started that first roll ball. He's wanting his players to stay on. Obviously, not just to run to the sub box to get off, but he knows the importance of getting those sets, as we've been talking about, straight up the field. So he'll be happy with that. Well, happy might not be the right word, but
it's Manisha again, is it?
Pleased with that outcome.
I see Izzy Grant out there. Izzy's got a great dive in her. That's Scotty and Anita's daughter, and Izzy's got a great dive in her. I'd love to see her have a crack at the line here for We Follow Ball. And there we go. We dive.
Just need to play to the whistle. The Otago defender obviously thought that she didn't make the touch, and nor did the Canterbury player make the touch on her. Referee thought otherwise, and unfortunately just not quite playing on.
There's a replay here.
Play to the whistle.
So here's our replay here. Manisha dumping on in the middle and just split into the short side. Izzy Grant going into half. Early release. Step back dive try for Manisha. I think that's 2 for Manisha, so she's going good.
Maya, we talked about it earlier when we were kind of like reflecting on whether or not we'd just like those forward passes coming off the scoreline to kind of roll, and I think that's a big instance of what we see in terms of that pull out on the 7 metre and the no touch, and a lot of players will almost stop and try and dispute it, but I think it's something that you just got to move on with, and like the referee is behind you in that aspect, and if they can't see it, well, there's nothing they can do about it. So you almost need to, like you said, play to the whistle, and in that instance they weren't quite able to do that, and then Canterbury capitalised off it.
Yeah, generally when it comes to a no-touch call down there, it's the body language of the attacker that probably gives it away to you more than the defender. So yeah, might have got one there, but it's 3-3. It's the score's on the board. And Canterbury again, this will be the second set in a row. They've got a fresh start and going to get across the halfway line for 2 touches.
I know at half-time Benny was asking the girls to just tighten up their defence, and that's what they certainly did in that last set. Otago didn't really have much of an attack because Canterbury was so locked in together and working as a real good unit. So the momentum's probably swung here towards Canterbury.
Yeah, we talked about the momentum that Otago had in that first half and the direction that they had through their transition in terms of their subbing execution. As we see them just trying a nice little link play down the short side, making Otago have to work all the way back across to their sub box. But just over the last 5 minutes, we've just seen that momentum shift, and rather than Otago having that direction through the field, it's been Canterbury that have picked up a couple of penalties to get themselves back into this game. As we see terrific yards there from the Otago 18 girls. They kind of had a nothing con, and then a lovely swerving run there by Demi McAlloway, and then looking to go inside, outside, and player manages to get back on just in time and cancels that attack for Otago.
I'm not too sure if that's Demi or Charlotte, 'cause we've got 2 number 7s here, but how good. She's come through the midfield.
The referee didn't even think that was going to be a try. He was already running through for the 7-7 to set up.
Neither did I, to be honest. I went to go on about Charlotte getting through the midfield of her rucking, and then I didn't actually quite see what happened, so let's check this replay out.
Last touch,
just a wee check off.
Unfortunately, the Canterbury link just didn't trust their middle defender and came in to help when she probably didn't need to, which created a 2-on-1 and great catch and pass.
What a great assist from Demi. She worked really hard on that set. She deserved to feed that final pass to that try, so well done, Demi. Great setup.
Yeah, and those are some of those coach killers, where everything's secure and then that little 1% doubt in the mind makes you kind of second guess where you are. And I think the Canterbury defence system were all right there, but Otago were able to execute off that little lapse in concentration, and well done to Otago capitalising on that.
Canterbury had the momentum, right? So that's one of those real killers. Because now the momentum's changed. The energy's gone up in Otago. They've gone on a away set, so they're changing things up. I love what they're doing here.
Yeah, notice that they weren't getting much momentum getting to the box, so they brought it away from their box, and this is something that only a few teams you'll see be able to execute well, but the fact that Otago have been able to get down here on 4, it just goes to show the testament of the ability that this 18 girls team has, and they were able to complete that set right down on the 7.
Yeah, let's give a rap to Naomi too. Tupai, she's well coached this team, and she's got a direct set, sub set, and away set. So yeah, well done, coach. They're looking real sharp, this Otago team.
As we see a nice little latch play come on there for the Canterbury girls,
centralising
their attack.
Half. Short side off to Heath. Can she draw and pass? Feed out to Sally. A great defence from Otago. Go subset again, Otago working their way to the sub box. That's touch 1. That's running onto the ball in the early half. That's a great drive. That's touch 2. 3 checking in. Should have a strike player coming out and around. Who we've got? That's that same player again. Charlotte, is it? Here we go. Split. Charlotte. No, short side run. Sienna chasing it down. This is great work out of half. Early feed. Touchdown. What a brilliant try. Libby Chalice out of half. How good. It was brilliant here. I think she's used Charlotte as a bit of a dummy. I think all eyes were on Charlotte. Charlotte split, all eyes were on her. She's just taken off, and Senna's no slap, so she's burnt her off the... And then, yeah, beautiful feed, nice early feed for our try scorer, Asher Murphy.
Yeah, taking nothing away from Libby Chalice there in the finish and the great setup she did, but that's off the back of those yards. And Otago have just dominated that area, both on defence and attack, and well deserved. And when they've become a little bit more accurate on the end of it, they're scoring. So I think the score's quite a fair reflection. In fact, probably flatters Canterbury a little bit. So let's see what they can do in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. They're looking pretty sharp here, and their midfield's been brilliant from Otago. That's Izzy Grant for long ball.
Unfortunately for Canterbury, they probably just played too much down a narrow corridor there, ran themselves out of room, and when it was time to open back up, the ball just wasn't able to beat the man, and Otago were able to shift across. There's a little bit of a handling error there for the Otago group, and it's probably one of the messier sets they've had going to the box, and good pressure from Canterbury. And we saw Canterbury put a couple of tries on when they had the momentum because their yards were clean, so it'll be interesting to see here what they can do if a set of 6 on the scoreline is.
I feel like Sienna's going to have to come out. We've got coming out here Molly Nevo, and she's pretty good on a strike, so let's see what she can conjure up with Sally. Here comes Sally into half, Molly off the dump. Early on side there, yeah, she's going to have another go. Plant on the 7, she's open side, through the hands, through a dive. Great defence from Otago.
I think unfortunately Senna's been caught out on defence a bit and probably taken a little bit of gas out of the tank, and that's why unfortunately we don't see her out here now. But yeah, she's definitely the most lethal weapon in the Canterbury team, but probably catching a few breaths in the sub-box.
Yeah, and I think for those at home, the touch that Pip Easton made there, and even there as well, like those are those ones where you have to make a decision, and like she chose that she had to react and lift off the line and have to shut those 2 plays down, and props to her for being able to make those decisions and have that ability to cancel Canterbury's attack like that.
I'm not sure if that's Amy or Pip from Otago, but man, she's made... Sorry, there you go again. It's Asher Murphy and her inside player, Riley. The defence on these two has been brilliant. They just really snuffed that out between Asher, and I think it was Riley and Amy. That's great defence on that left-hand side pod and defences-wise.
Canterbury really need to D this set out and then score in the next set, otherwise I'm not sure there's enough time for them to get back in touch with the Otago team. So first 3 touches, that's good work from the Canterbury defence.
This is smart here from an Otago player, yeah. She's pulled the penalty too. That's very clever.
It's unfortunate, obviously it wasn't the outcome Canterbury after, but just that effort that they were showing there to try and get up and stop the momentum which we see being created here.
I think Canterbury's going to have to roll the dice here, even have a crack at an intercept or something. They're going to have to force something here. I think about 3 sets in this game. and they've got to try and pull off 2 tries. So just give anything a go here. Otago's smart, probably, use the ball, throw it deep, throw it to the stands if they have to, just buy up some time.
Yeah, they definitely killed it on the right side of the field. They're going to really make Canterbury work for this, as a penalty's given for not presenting the ball. Nope, for a touch and pass. So we can just see the height of these Otago players on the outside, just trying to really cut down Canterbury's opportunity to get through. And that's what you talked about, Corey.
There's Miller Grant, yeah. Just got to roll the dice. Just quick play the ball. Let's go.
I think it was Libby Chalice who caught her in again. You talked about Sienna being quick. She sort of beat Sienna down in the touchdown zone before and chased her down there as well.
Yeah, Libby's got her rocket boots on today.
Yeah, and if that's the little sister of Will that's in our New Zealand 20s team, then they come from a great family, and we can definitely see the efforts, and it's no different to her older brother. So congratulations to the performance that Libby's put on today.
And once again, the second half, like I said in the first half when that finished, the second half, I've not noticed these refs once. And that is a sign of a great game. This game's just flowed. I mean, I can't believe it's got 10 seconds to go.
And there we see it. Otago just weren't going away from any of their systems or policies. They've really finished this game strong, and they're making sure that Canterbury weren't able to get their way back into it. As we hear the hooter for the last time today, Otago just looking to close it out. Almost an intercept there for Canterbury, but we finish our day in the U18 Girls grade with Otago ending up clawing ahead with a scoreline of 5 touchdowns to 3.
This Touch New Zealand event is proudly supported by Bunnings Warehouse.